sort of marketing. No Facebook, no TikTok, no LinkedIn, no anything except Instagram. And the amount of growth that I've gotten just from that platform alone is I can't, there's not even enough words to put it. But like I said, I'll go into my mindset. Anybody here though that was invited personally by me, do me a big favor, comment hashtag the winning team if I had sent you an invitation and you're here because of that invite, whether it's Instagram, I sent you the link on Instagram, through text, just do me that favor and we will get started.
Yep. Absolutely. So it is 2:06.
Okay,
as
we're
promised.
late.
Yeah. I think it is a couple of people that are tuning in. The winning team. Let's go. Awesome, guys.
Man.
So yeah, we're going to go ahead and get started. Thank you guys for tuning in. Welcome to the Content Creator Mastermind, where weekly we bring you guys an extraordinary individual that is crushing it, and not only on social media, but is also crushing it in production. And I'm very excited. I mean, I was thinking, I'm like, who's going to be the next person that I'm going to be interviewing that is bringing a tremendous amount of value? And just to give you guys a little bit of his background, you know, Jose Ojeda, last 12 months, 83 transactions, all off of Instagram, as you already heard. And, you know, I know everybody is in here, you know, how do you do it? Right. But just take us back, Jose. Let's get it started up and share how you got your journey started, how long you've been in the business. Start off with your story, and then we'll go in for other questions as well.
For sure. Well, don't want to bore you, but it's kind of like everyone's story, right? We start off with nothing and create it with something. I did, though, identify an opportunity with video early on. This is 2018. And I was like, what can I do to stand out? And I wasn't big on social media. I didn't have like an established social media platform. I'm a millennial, but I still like old school stuff, right? I take notes on sticky notes. I'm like very old fashioned. It wasn't tech. I'm not too tech savvy or anything. So I identified an opportunity with video, and it didn't take me very long to finally pull the trigger and get started with producing content. I didn't even question, oh my gosh, what content should I post? Or, you know, is this too repetitive? Are people going to like it? Like those self-doubts that you have in your mind, get them out. And who gives a shit what people think? If you're not posting out there, if you're not getting your face out there, you're not creating that brand recognition. You're not building something from the ground up, wherever you're at. You know, I think this applies to anyone that is getting started, anybody that has already built traction, or even people that are at a crazy level, because everyone, like I said, has a different perspective with marketing on social media. So I remember the one thing that really blew it up was I told myself, people are so fascinated with learning about people's lives. People like reality TV shows, right? We've all seen one. We all sit down on our chair, on our couch or wherever, and we watch someone else literally just doing life. And that's exactly what I started doing since 2018. I've documented my life, my journey through the growth of real estate, right? So there's so many topics regarding content creation. It's not just what are the requirements to buy and sell. Like we have to think a lot bigger than that, right? We can't just like be super in this box, is what I call it, and do what everybody else is doing. Like that's fine. I documented the mindset. I would go to the gym every morning and I would tell people, like, this is what I do to get my day started. I would listen to TED Talks. I would listen to a lot of, you know, motivational stuff. And I would start speaking these things out on my social media platform. And the reason I did this was just to get some kind of like attention. You know, I didn't have any, like I said, real foundation. And I just wanted people to kind of get to know me for who I am at that moment or at that time. We go through these transitions, we go through these growth phases. But the one thing that I caught on when I first started posting about the mindset, I picked on it really quickly, that people crave this motivation, right? Like a lot of people don't have a mentor. A lot of people don't know how to get through funks. A lot of people have these mental challenges, especially starting off with a business. Even though I was going through these challenges myself, because I was talking about them, giving people a different perspective on how to get by a funk, right? Or how to like overcome an objection. Like I was talking about these kinds of things. So many people resonated with it and were like, man, you are awesome, Jose. I appreciate all the daily talks. And this was daily, consistently. I would post videos all of the time. And I want to show you guys something, and I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but I literally have an Instagram reminder on my phone to post content every single morning. This has become my daily ritual. Even though it's automatic already, I make sure that I have it on my calendar on repeat in the morning so that I know this needs to get done. This is how serious you need to take the social media platform. It's not just posting this one video that, hold on, give me 1 second.
I spotlighted you.
What'd you do, man?
I spotlighted you because you showed your screen. I wanted everybody to see the screen, so what I did is I did a spotlight.
All right, I'm just gonna show this real quick. I literally want to show this. It says IG/reel. The reels, I didn't incorporate reels honestly until maybe 6 months ago, because reels weren't my thing. I just posted what I call ugly marketing. I would pick up my phone and I would just say, you know, what was on my mind at that moment. A quick post, put it up, and there was my content for the day. I didn't care if it came out right. I would re-listen to it to make sure I didn't stutter, and I did. Even my development through the years was awesome. And I'll play a clip for you guys of how I started off, just so you can see that I'm not bullshitting you. I was not good with communication, my communication skills. I was not good with being in front of the camera. I was not good despite where I'm at right now. So I make sure every day that I post something. And what I do is when I go through the day, if there's a thought on my mind that I want to talk about regarding the mindset, whether it's, you know, real estate related or whatever, I jot it down to when I find that opportunity to post content. I kid you not, this goes so far back, full of ideas. Like, it goes on. It's so in depth with so many different things that are on my mind. And you have to realize that when you're trying to gain exposure, you're a realtor, or whatever field you're in, you're a realtor slash something. You have to fill in that blank. This is what I call my identity. You know, so I was a realtor slash motivator. And even on my bio, I created that, or I manifested that image. So I have it as realtor slash leadership. And on one of them, I put, you know, daily motivation, mindset matters. I just made sure that someone wasn't going to follow me for real estate needs and then maybe need my services or not, and then unfollow, right? I made sure that I offered so much value to people just in general, so that I can have, or so I can keep my followers, so that my retention was like super high when it came to my Instagram followers, because at some point someone's going to need to buy or sell. And if you notice, and follow me for a long time, you've seen the growth of my social media followers. It's been organic, it's been consistent. I don't lose many followers because of my daily activities. So that's just a little bit about kind of what got me started, the things that I picked up on. I was, you know, again, Jose the realtor slash mentor slash leadership slash mindset. And I swear people in my DMs would flood, like, I appreciate it, man. I look forward to your daily talks. And I would reply, even with 7K followers and so many DMs that I get, I reply myself, like, to that person. And I make it so personal, where they just remember these kinds of things, right? Like they appreciate when I reach out to them, despite how busy I am. They'll say, man, even though you're so busy or you're killing it, you're still taking the time to reply. That's what content is about. It's about the connection. It's not just creating some cool piece. It's offering value. But again, I grew my business off of connections and relationships, which I will go into detail. And at the very end, by the way, Leo, how much time do we have? Because I have a huge nugget that is going to be like mind-blowing.
Yeah, for sure.
That is my biggest conversion rate, or my conversion piece into this whole equation, man. Like, this is how I get the replies, the phone numbers, the emails, all organically. Like, how much time do we have?
Yeah, we got until, I have this blocked off until 3 o'clock. I think we're going to be kind of like doing like a stop around 2:50. I would say around there, but so we definitely are good on time. So just so everybody that's in here, we got about 85 people in here, right? You shared your story. You talked about, you know, obviously you started off badly. You were, you know, just sharing authentically what was on your mind. And I love what you just said. Content is about connection, right? Content is about connection. I love that you said that. How many years in the business? And what was the thing that kind of like you started to connect in your mind? And because you went a different way, like you could have followed the traditional path, right? That everybody talks about at every other office. but something inside of you said like, I'm going to do this different. All right. So I would
So
like to know, just tell everybody.
You're talking about like, I can talk about what other people post regarding like just your typical reels and stuff like that, right?
I'm just talking about people that are doing the traditional, like which people still do, right? Door knocking and
Oh,
doing
yeah.
open house. Yeah.
And I didn't even do any of that stuff, man. Like I said, for when I started, so going back to my years, I started in 2018, which it's literally documented. So my story archive, I have my post. This is so you can see how real my consistency was. This is my profile. Every time you see something in bubble, like without being blank, was because I posted content. You know, there's a few days here and there. This was the amount of content. We're talking right now, June of 2018. I did this day one, not knowing much about real estate, not knowing much about anything, but I just said, man, I have no other choice. I have no, I don't know plan B. I didn't go to college. I didn't go that route. So I was kind of building my whole image on the underdog mentality, which goes to answer the question, why did I do things differently? I started, and again, I don't say do this stuff, but I would curse when it came out in one of my videos. Like if I had a true like message and there was a power behind it, sometimes fuck yeah is gonna make it sound better than yes, right? Like that behind it. So I didn't hold back. That's what it was. Whatever was on my mind, I never held back like, oh, you know, what if they think of me in this way because I said this? Like, my God, if you keep thinking this, like if you keep thinking closed-minded or what other people think before posting your piece of content, that is what's going to kill you from actually posting it, right? So
I think that's so true. I think that's exactly what happens, right? Everybody gets in a bright idea, right? They get a brilliant idea and they say, I'm going to post this, but then, oh, what are people going to say? What are going to think, right? What am I going to be judged? Am I going to, you know, so what are the things that you did? And because there might be people that are still in that position right now, they're still thinking they're seeing all your results and your success, everything you're saying. So did you do anything particular? Like you just said like, oh, I'm just going to post content. I don't care. Like, how did that happen?
That's it. Like, that's really it. So it goes to one of the bullet points that I have on this list. I said, when posting stories, and for those that don't know, stories, obviously where you can record, they're up for 24 hours. It's different than on your profile. It's just kind of like you're talking to the people. It's like a daily movie of yourself. The stuff that's on your post, that's just archive stuff. That's just stuff that you want people to see when they go on your page. And make sure, again, we'll go into this too, like how should your page look in order to come off as like this professional, right? So we'll get into that later. But I wrote something that said, when posting stories, don't overthink. But here's the thing with that. Don't confuse not overthinking with lack of preparation, right? There's two different things. You can prepare something before you're going to post it, but it's literally when you're going to click that button, record. So many of us just don't do it. And we just like, oh my gosh, like what if it doesn't come out right? Well, fortunately enough, if it doesn't come out right, you don't post it. You delete it and you do it again. You delete it and you do it again. You know, just don't do it so many times, because I have gotten to maybe 5 times in my whole 5-6 years where I've recorded 10, 15 times before I posted. And then I never did, because it really didn't come off authentic, right? I was like, man, this is too much. But now it's just raw. I record, I post, I move on. I think about what I'm going to say, record, post, move on. Even like today, I was overthinking like what I'm going to talk about. And I was like, you know what, forget it. Let's just go in, like go in and have something to say. Let's just say it, you know? So that was my mentality. And I said it in a talk when I did I did like a little, not a little seminar. It was like a group event thing where I call it fucking up forward. And I live by this model, and maybe everyone can write this down for those that don't post because of, you know, I'm too shy, right? Those are the objections we get. I'm too shy. I don't know what to say. What are other people going to think? Or it's hard. All these excuses, right? I use the model fuck up forward, because if I'm going to do something, even if I fuck up and I don't get it right, at least I'm moving forward, right? At least I'm progressing and posting more. Because here's one thing, if you can't get anything out of it, at least you can be consistent fucking up, right? And consistency is literally one of the biggest things that made me successful, is that I did so many things consistently. And then I don't know what it is about life, but you just find that breakthrough where you're like, wow, I have this brilliant idea on day 10
Yes.
of the consistency, like, right, of doing something. And that's when you start to shape your life. That's when you start to shape certain things. But if you never get started with it, you're never going to get there. So that's like
Yes.
my whole mindset behind social media, video content, doing things out of your comfort zone. That's what this is all about. And you can hear, I haven't even talked about interest rates, not once. I haven't talked about the market once. I'm talking about
Yeah.
marketing. I'm talking about putting your face out there. And I saw someone in one of the comments say, how do I get more clients? That's it. You market yourself. You don't focus just on your profession, right? You could be a decent realtor, but my God, if you're really good at marketing, you're going to get so many eyeballs looking at you, and you're going to just get people asking questions. And then you can figure out, okay, shit, what are the requirements? Someone's asking me, I'm resourceful, we'll figure it out. And I tell new agents, if you can't get the client, how the hell are you going to write up a contract? So many are focused on, I got to get the contract right. I got to do this. They're very analytical. I got to get all the pieces put together before I get to this next level. And I had this conversation with a buddy of mine that went to Texas. He went to Texas, super good dude. And he's the analytical type. He's like, dude, I do my research with everything before I post. And you're just out there, just like doing things, moving forward, doing the ugly marketing. He's the one that got me introduced to that ugly marketing. It's just out sitting and I have my setup, right? I have my computer, my lights and everything. But man, the power of this phone and just posting content on the go is so powerful. It just takes seconds. And now it's cool is that it went from 15-second clips to I think even a minute. We could post a minute on our stories talking about something, and it's super, it's awesome, right? So that's again,
totally.
man, like everything on mine.
I love it.
We'll get into the tactical stuff. I don't want to flood you guys too much with just my story. I want to give value and tell you guys tips that I've given so many people in my sphere, man. So many people that are in my downline, so many people just in the community where they're like, dude, how did you get to your level? So I'm going to talk about maybe 2 to 3 different things, kind of how to get the ball rolling. And a few agents I've seen that are doing this, it's cool, you know, like they're getting started, but they ask me, man, hey, I'm not seeing any results. Bro, you just got started a month ago. You're hitting people up, you're creating content, and you're coming back to me in 30 days telling me you haven't saw results. Dude, I didn't see results, like true organic results, until 3 years of posting in social media. And I had my coach send me this list yesterday. He's like, fill this out, and it was my 2018 to 2022, and it was 3 million in gross sales. Well, actually, let me pull it up so I can give you a little.
Go for it. I mean, that was great that you said that, man. I think a lot of people don't understand that it takes that type of consistency, that kind of mindset. And you know, I hear it all the time, like, oh, I posted one post, and no, it takes time. It takes your having a longevity mindset, planting those seeds.
We did a timeline 2018 to 2022, and I wrote some simple bullets down, but this is my volume in, you know, from those years. I did 3.9 million in 2018, which is my first year. That jumped to 7 million 2019, 7.5. 2022 was such a killer year, 21.70 or 21 million. 2021 last year was 31.2 million. Again, no team, just Instagram, no Facebook, no knocking, no cold calls, no mailers. I would do calendar giveaway or like calendars, but that was it. It wasn't regular stuff. This was all Instagram, and that's it. And then 2022, which is last year, I mean, it was a crazy decline. So it went from 31.2 to 20 million again, but 2022 was a crazy year for so many different people. And you know what? Like, I used that year to just learn a lot about myself, about the business, where there were holes in the business that I needed to fill, kind of stuff on the back end, right? Like, I can get the clients, I can get all the leads and the closings, but there was just something that didn't take my business from a 30 to plus, even in that bad market. But I've talked to so many different people, even other top producers, and they're like, man, it was just one of those markets. So whatever, right? Like the market, that I'm not going to sit on that too long, because I'm not going to blame my results on the market. We moved past it, and so that was that. But in 2020 was when I wrote down, this was the year that I saw so many organic leads through Instagram. 3 years of consistency. Like, people can't put in a month, but they're like, how the hell did you get to where you're at? Well, I'm going to tell you the honest truth. Sometimes it's not going to come super quick. but now people see this, you know, and I got into painting recently where I'm going to do like a cool video about the draft and then the final product. And I'm going to say, people don't see your vision until it's done.
Yes.
Now we're on here with 97 people. I couldn't think of this like 5 years ago. Like, oh, you're going to be on this Zoom call coaching people about, you know, social media. It's not, ask me that 5 years ago, maybe because I was a little hard headed. I'm like, all right, I'll get there. But like, I wasn't there at the time, you know? And I'm here now. 3 years after I started, I got the results, and then 5, 6 years in, we're here. And like, now it's someone else to take that throne, right? Like, that's why we're here. We're here to give value to people and not just be top dogs. I do have the confidence so that no one can replicate what I do. So I'll give you the tools.
Exactly.
And now it's up to you to like do things your own way, right? Don't take what I'm doing.
You're the brand.
That's it. Don't take what I'm doing and what I'm saying and say, okay, I'm going to do exactly what he's doing. It's the nuggets that you can take from what I'm saying and making it your own. Making it your own.
And that's what I was going to say. You're being authentic, and that's what you can be consistent with. You could be consistent by being authentic, because if you're being inauthentic and you're trying to be someone else, then you're going to run out of gas and you're going to run out of ideas.
Yeah.
But if you're just being yourself, right, and you're fucking up forward, like you said, right? I mean, that's the name of the game. You got it down.
I love it.
Talk, and I'm sure that you got something you were going to say here, but I was
got it
going to
written
talk
down.
about.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So like stories, right? Like you do stories, posts, reels, kind of talk about ratios. Like, what are you doing on that? Are you kind of just sporadically doing? Do you have intent? Like, tell us a little bit about that.
I make sure I don't post too much of the same thing. So I don't post like one reel, then another reel, then another reel. And then like to get even more tactical than that, sometimes it's a reel about real estate, no pun intended. And then sometimes it's a reel about my personal life, you know, like, and then that, right. Don't get too like carried away and start posting too much personal stuff, because if someone on your social media says like, I mean, he says realtor, but I have not seen a damn sold post anywhere. I don't see anything real estate related. It's just, he just looks like a social media influencer. Like that, to me, that ship is gone. Anybody that wanted to become something in social media got away with being an influencer for a little bit. But I think now people crave that authenticity, which is why I talk about it all the time. This is why I'm always posting my like real life stuff, my real life challenge. When I get an offer accepted, when I get an offer declined, I talk about the real shit, and people are like, man, this guy is not just talking about the glory and the good stuff behind being a realtor in this business. He's also talking about his failures. Like, oh my God, he is real. I want to work with that guy because I feel like I got a connection with him. So I'm creating a connection through my stories. You get me? Being real, because if you're not tangible and you're this social media influencer, like that's fine if that's where your personal goals are at. But remember, not all your clients and not all your customers and people that are watching you are this influencer. You're not at the same level that you can connect.
The relatability.
Exactly. You have to connect with them on their level. You can be authoritative and show them like, hey, I'm the professional when it comes to this, but I understand where you're coming from. Let's get you up here or whatever. I'm going to pull you and
I love that.
Wing, and I'm going to help you buy a home, sell a home, get the connections, whatever. Right. That's the thing that we mix up with this whole image on social media, which again, I think that's gone. We don't see people getting away with growing by doing these things anymore. Now you have to be more real. Now you have to create conversations with people in the DMs. You have to follow up with people. Another thing that I'll talk about is giveaways. We're doing a iPad giveaway. I'm doing an iPad giveaway to my followers, not even a past client, just my Instagram followers, because of how much I truly appreciate all the business that I get from Instagram. That like, if I invest $1,000 and even if I get any leads, right? Like, let's say because of I didn't get any leads, this is just me giving back to people, because 95% of my business, probably comes from social media. Everything else now is all getting a lot of listings, sign calls, and the business, right? But I built this through social media. So that's, like I said, that's kind of what I've been seeing a lot with the whole content, how much of content you should put, don't put too much personal stuff, too much real estate, mix it up a little bit. And I don't know what it is.
I love that.
Personal content, but it definitely gets a little bit more likes than real estate.
Oh yeah, totally. Because you're being authentic. People can relate to you. And I love everything you're saying, man. And I really think that for those that are listening right now, you know, it could be intimidating to be on social media, right? You have a following of 7,000 real human beings that are engaging with your content, right?
Yep.
So you don't need to have thousands and thousands and thousands and millions. Like you have 7,000 people that are there truly listening to you, that are connected to you, that are part of your community that you've created.
Correct, correct. And that's what it is. It's because it's my community, right? Like now it's crazy to say this again. I'm gonna be humble, but now I grew to become a bigger version of myself that I'm reaching people in different areas that aren't in my Central Valley, and which is nice now to get some kind of recognition. But I didn't care if I had followers or didn't have followers in another state. Like they're not going to be buying with me, right? So I focus really on my local market, and I'm like, I really want to give back to people in my community. And that was the 7,000 followers. Like if you look at people in my cities or where I serve, I probably have one of the biggest legit following, right? Because there's tons of other people with bot followers and stuff. I have one of the biggest legit following pages as a realtor in my market. And that's what it was about. I didn't care about anything else. I wanted to serve the people in my community and just build on that.
And did you start following people in your local market? Did you have intent about like, let me follow people that are precisely in my area? How did that come about? What was that strategy behind that?
So there is a tactical thing that I did behind followers. I have about, like you said, 7,000, and it grew like crazy this past week. It's like 100 followers in this last 7 days. I don't know why, but it's just like momentum started shifting.
Yeah.
So 7,000 people are following me, and I'm only following 876. I only follow past clients or people that are like ready, either pre-approved buyers or sellers that have a listing with me. I do this too because it's one of those things of like, he seems very popular, right? He's only following so many people, yet he has this many followers. That alone can say so much about somebody without really like noticing. Imagine it was the other way around. Imagine I was following 7,000 people and only 3 were following back. How creepy is that? Right? Like,
yeah, that's weird. Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's like, that's something I thought about early on. And I'm like, I'm going to be very strategic about who I follow back. And it's no like offense to anyone. It's not. I have to be following people that are either in my sphere, past clients. And it's also a way of tracking it too, right? Like on my Instagram, if I want to just do like a random giveaway, I just go to my followers and I know everyone has been a past client pre-approved. So it's like kind of like a CRM on Instagram.
Yeah.
It's like an easy way of filtering like legit people that add value to me, and then vice versa. So I don't follow other people back, and even realtors, sometimes I'll follow back, but I've created my own like image that pertains just to me, that I don't copy what other people do. I'll see certain things, I'll be like, oh, that was cool, you know, that piece of content or whatever. And almost like I like doing the opposite, right, of what other people do. Because if you keep doing what everyone's doing, it's like you're just gonna fit in this box and you're just gonna be same image, just different face on it. And I'm like, I don't want to be that. So I followed other people, or I kind of kept with other realtors just to see what they were doing. And I did the opposite. Right. I did the opposite of what they did, and it's been working for me. That's how I, wanted to shake the market a little bit. That's how I wanted to stand out, be unique.
I love that. I love that, man. That's amazing. So apps, talk about apps. Like what kind of apps are you using that have been beneficial for your platform?
That's a good one. So there's one that I use that's called Snapseed. This is just to like edit certain images. Like you're able to blur out backgrounds, you're able to like crop certain things. Even if you take like a bad image and there's like it's like not the right angle, you can even tweak it out to kind of fix it. So it's called Snapseed. That's one.
Perfect.
It's just kind of like one that I just been using for a while now. Canva, everybody uses Canva. Get the upgraded version, right? Do a little bit of a different thing or different things. Don't do the same thing. Another cool one that you guys should look into if you're trying to do reels, it's called InShot. It's InShot, InShot. That's another cool one where you can pretty much put images, videos, put them all into one, so that you're already prepping what your reel is going to look like and you can upload it. You can speed up a video. You can have fun with it a little bit more to go with the type of music that you're going to put. So that's another one. InShot. Let's see. Man, I don't use too many. Like I said,
that's cool. Keep it simple, right? Keep it really simple.
I have everything in folders. Those are probably the only ones that I use, man. Like it's just Canva, Snapseed, InShot, and that's it. And now I have a videographer that kind of does some of the things for me. But I still like to keep control. I don't like to give everything. And I know some people are like, well, when you get to this level, you want to delegate and you want to have everyone else like, no, that like, I don't like leaving people and like letting people take control. I also want to just give back to my roots and say, man, this is how I grew. I'm going to continue to do the ugly marketing. I want to be the person replying to most of my DMs. Even if someone says, man, like, you're not going to grow to this scale, like prove me wrong. And like, how did I get here doing this? Again, I did something a little bit differently and it's kind of working. So this will segue to another thing really. Or actually ask me one more question while I pull this.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. So I got the apps, love that. And it sounds like you're doing your own posts. You're not scheduling them. Do you find that scheduling them or posting them at a certain time, does that work for your community? Talk about time.
Okay,
like
so
the timing.
before even getting to there, I want to talk about how to find the right time. So that's a little bit more important, right? You can go and if you don't have your Instagram set up on a creator account, make sure you do that. And I hope no one on here is doing this, but if someone on here has a business page and you're on private, you're fucking up. You should never be a professional and having your Instagram or whatever profile on private. That's just like, come on. That's just first thing you're doing wrong. Make sure it's on unprivate. You want people to be watching you. Like, just make sure if it's on private, fix that right now. So you can actually go to your settings and then, or before that, you can go to your dashboard. And on your dashboard right there, it'll tell you every single thing, like as far as insight goes, the demographic of your followers, the age group, the cities that they're in. It'll tell you the time when people are most active. Go into the settings on Instagram. And like I said, I'm only gonna talk about Instagram because that's all I do. Go into the settings on Instagram and find out what time people are most active, right? On social media. It'll literally give you a chart and it'll say 3 p.m. Sunday, most active. That's when you kind of want to start posting some stuff, even a little bit before, so that, you know, we can get a little bit of traction and people are already seeing it on their timeline. That's one thing. Another thing that I don't want to miss, going back to the stories, is you need to know your demographic. You need to know the type of people that are following you for this important reason. You want to post relatable content. So for example, I live here in the Central Valley, where my average price point, it's like about 400,000, give or take. So I service a lot of first-time home buyers, right? A lot of first-time home buyers follow my page, and I see it when I open up my Instagram. It says, you know, age groups 18 to 24, like this big, man, like super. So now I'm like, all right. So if most of my followers are first-time home buyers, why am I not posting some hot properties that might fit that criteria? Don't be posting crazy mansions if you don't have anyone in your social media that's going to buy them. Like, post with intent. So don't just post, have an intention and be strategic about, all right, what am I going to post today? And remember, the information that you have on your social media, it's telling you something. You just need to know what to do with it. It's like market trends, right? How do you comp a property out? You have the information there. Can you do the homework and run the comps properly? It's the same thing with this and your post. You have all the information there on what people are following you, what, like where they live, how old they are, and everything. So why don't you post more of that to kind of just get a little bit more activity than to be something totally irrelevant.
So then you use your dashboard, you went to Instagram, and you guys should have caught what he said. You got to have a creator account on Instagram. Make sure you do that. Don't be private. And once you looked at your time of when the engagement was, and that's what you intentionally do daily, you kind of post it right at the time that you see the most engagement in your accounts.
Yep. And sometimes another quick tip on like posts, leverage posts or leverage opportunities to post more. So here's an example. I'll do let's say one closing, right? With one closing, I could do the post of the home sold. I post a family that got the keys. There's content number 2. I take video when I'm at the property handing keys, or I have a videographer doing something. I create that into a reel. There's post number 3.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what to post. Well, didn't you just have a closing yesterday? Yeah. Well, then why aren't you documenting the closing? And why aren't you doing more than one like piece of content with that one closing? Oh shit, I didn't know that. But again, this is why we do these things for, because I learned through the years what worked, what didn't work. And I'm still learning right now. People throw some things at me and I'm like, oh shit, I've been doing it wrong this whole time, or maybe that's a cool different way of working it. So that goes with like, what do I post? You can do so many things, or break down one video and do different types of content with that one video within the same time span. Don't post one video and then a week later the same video. That people, if they notice it, immediately lose credibility.
Right.
So
Absolutely. Repetitive.
Yeah, I don't do that. Another cool thing is if you go to your videos or your posts and there's one that you saw had a lot of engagement, find the right time to repost it. Believe it or not, I did a little bit of research on it, and it said repost your most like active video or Instagram and just give it a highlight. Be like, thank you guys for giving me so many views or likes on this post, whatever. Post it again and you'll get more traction because of that post. So you are taking something old and you're like re-sparking it, but again, with the intention of getting more traction.
Yeah. And you're letting your audience know, like, hey, I just wanted to give you my gratitude on this most viewed post. I like that. I like how you tied that in.
Right.
So
you have to have a little bit of intention before posting it. Don't just post it and like, hope it does its thing. Be black and white. Be black and white with people.
What are other things, man? What are other things that people really like that are non-negotiables? Like obviously being public. You said that, like you're messing up if you're not, public. But what are like musts, right? That you said like these are like the top things that you got to focus on if you want to really crush it as a with your Instagram account and create the results that you've created. What are like the non-negotiables that you're saying like these are the daily habits that you need to have?
2 that I'll throw out. 1, continue being yourself, right? Build on what your strengths are. Don't look at what other people are doing. And again, this sounds cliche, but really like if you reflected, you might be doing certain things because other people are doing them. Like stick to yourself, right? Number 2 is get out of your own way, right? Like do things that scare you, like do things that scare you that you don't do regularly. In these last 12 months, maybe this is why I've grown so much or whatever. I told myself, I'm going to do every fucking thing that has once scared me. I'm going to say yes to it. I'm just going to do it. Yeah. Someone asked me, hey, you want to be a speaker on stage, in front of a group of realtors to talk about how you got your social media from here to here? Yeah, let's do it. You know how many times I've been asked, do you want to speak on stage? Like 3-4 times. I'm like, I'm not ready. No, this and that. Like I said no to a lot of stuff, right? Including like the social media stuff. I would like think twice about posting something. I just said yes to a lot of stuff. Get out of your own way and just make something happen. Learn.
I love that. And that's so true because when I asked you to do this, you're like, and you said exactly that. I said, I am being a yes. I am saying yes to these opportunities. Yeah. I'm saying yes to it. So I love it, man. You're living what you're saying, truly, because that's exactly what I did when I reached out to you.
Another thing is like this is gonna segue into so much because like social media, like you can do so many different things with it. Are you okay with me like adding on to this?
Go for it.
Okay, so one thing that is very, very important is leveraging the people that are already following you, right? We're thinking this, and I told someone this. I told someone we're so busy chasing the new business, the new followers, when we haven't really serviced our existing followers. Think about it. Like over here, I'm going to grow this social media platform to, 10,000 followers. Like, so we're so fixated on a number when we have so much business right in front of us that we haven't truly extracted. Yeah. So this goes back to what I tell new agents. And if you haven't started this, I mean, again, there's no right or wrong time to get started. Greeting followers. I was gonna save this tip for the end, but you know what? Let's just let's do
it. Yeah.
This one, I want you guys to literally write it down. And it's gonna put me on my toes because now you guys know my top secret, and you're gonna know how I convert.
Hold on a second, bro. Hold on a second. Everybody needs to put it in the chat. Do you guys want him to share his top secret? Yes or no? Come on now. Put it in the chat. If we don't, yeah, of course. But I want to hear from everybody. Everybody's paying attention. Come on. I want to see it. I want to see that you guys are here. You guys are getting a ton of value. I don't know, bro. I think we only have a couple comments here. I don't know if we should give it away just yet. Yeah. Come on now. All right. Cool.
Yeah, I have so many different things to talk about, but I want to talk about this one in particular. Is a new agent asked me this question just yesterday, right? They're like, how do I get new clients? How do I work on this and that? And I was like, have you even texted everybody in your contacts that you're a licensed realtor? Like, have you even started there? No, I've been trying to get new clients. Like, quit trying to go for the new stuff, because what's important is build traction with people that you already have a relationship with, right? You've already built a connection with them, and you're just literally going to let them go because you're too focused on the new business. You're going to work twice as hard for half the results on the new business versus you already have the rapport with someone else is going to put their trust in you a little bit more than the new person. So here's the top secret. And I've told so many other realtors to do this. And Jose's on our level, so I'm gonna just throw it out there. When I get a new follower, many people will just get followers every day, every week, every month. They'll track the followers, right? They'll just say, I got this many followers this day. I grew by 100 followers. I grew by this and that. Cool. The secret to how I converted so many people on social media is I created a funnel. My goal, because I knew this thing worked, this trick, this secret worked. My goal was, I'm going to get so many more followers because I have like a thing that I know is going to work. So I worked on trying to like put myself out there with video marketing. I leveraged other accounts. I did giveaways, because that's another of my topics is leveraging. When I did a giveaway and I made the rule specific to repost and this and that, now I leverage my followers to get into their followers' accounts. And I was like, and this just keeps growing and growing and growing, right? Like if you make a giveaway so good, like an iPad or something people want, who's not going to repost this on their story to try to get an entry in? So leveraging. So this is the beginning of the funnel. It's like, I got to get people in my Instagram. I got to get people to follow me because of this secret, which again, I will just say it. I greet every fucking follower myself. I greet every follower with a strategic message. I say, good evening or good afternoon or whatever. I say, hey, blank, and I put their name. You don't want to be like an automated bot where you're just putting someone's, or, hey, thanks for the follow, yada, yada, whatever. And I'll read, let's just read it. Let's just read the message. Let's just give you exactly.
Let's go. Let's do it. Thanks, brother. This is fire.
All right. So this is, and the reply ratio is ridiculous. Like, here's an example. Here's the message. I'll block the name. Here's a message, reply. I got a reply like that from the message. I appreciate the follow, blank. Let me know if you or your friends or family ever need help with buying or selling a home. I'd love to help. And then I added on to that message because I don't want to just be salesy. That's it. Remember when I said you're a realtor / something, and then that's the first part of it. So I appreciate the follow, blank. Let me know if you or your friends and family ever need help with buying or selling a home. I'd love to help. You'll also see a lot of motivational posts on my page. Welcome to the team. Enjoy. I didn't make it salesy. It is, but then I throw a little something more personal on there afterwards. I get so many replies, like the reply to this one, thank you, I'm going to be a first-time buyer in the near future. I'm still not 100% ready, but I'm still whatever, like the conversation. And then I just built on that conversation afterwards. Most of the time they'll reply. And okay, this is again called breaking the ice. So many of us, we're chasing the followers, we're chasing all this, but like, what are you doing to create conversation with these people? If your Instagram account is set up in the right way, where people know you're a realtor, they know your profession because your bio says it, your photos say it. Why else do you think they're following you?
Yep. Yeah, exactly.
Like, that's it, right? Like and then when I tell people that, they're like, the light bulb goes off. They're following you because there's probably a need. There's probably a need to buy or sell. Who cares when that is? So every time
they're walking into your open house, bro. They're walking into your open house, right? Like that's it.
Best way of putting it. And now again, you're breaking the ice because you're so busy on social media, and sometimes people don't reach out. On rare occasion, I'll be like, hey, I'm interested in buying a house. What are the requirements? Or I'm pre-approved. I want to see this house. I'll get that. But most of my people reply when I send them that message because they're too scared to initiate that conversation, because you've established yourself as this authority. Like, I'm a busy realtor, I'm this Instagram influencer, whatever. Some people are intimidated by that kind of stuff. So remember what I told you about bringing it down to their level? Every time I message them, scoop down to their level, and we build a relationship from the ground up with every single person.
Connection.
Everyone that follows me.
Connection.
Then it's about the communications afterwards. Like, okay, if they mention buying or selling, ask them. What I do now, I don't scrub the client in the DMs because so many people forget to reply, whatever. If someone says, I'm interested in buying or selling, what's your full name, phone number, email? I don't bother. Oh, that's awesome. That's it. If they give me their information, automatic, you already know what to do with this. You follow up, you connect them with whoever, and they're in your pipeline CRM, and let's go, right? So that's another, don't waste too much time asking too many questions in the DMs.
Yeah.
When you get that reply, it's hot, right? That reply is hot. You have a small window when someone's interested in buying or selling. So don't lose that opportunity. And again, for the people that haven't created that conversation, go back, create something different, right? Maybe create a giveaway and message most of your followers and say, hey, I have a giveaway, it's regarding real estate. Like I'd love for you to check it out, to join, whatever. Create some kind of conversation. And then
yes, sir.
That's how you identify the opportunity. So that's literally the top secret. You could do nothing else but that. You're gonna improve and increase your sales.
Yeah. Make sure you guys follow Jose on Instagram. Jose the Realtor on Instagram. Make sure you guys follow. You guys are getting immense amount of value. Send them a DM. Let them know you guys are getting value from this. We are coming to a conclusion here. I know we can go for like another hour.
Man, I could.
I took a lot of notes, bro. I took a lot of notes, and there was a lot of questions. But
man, I have 2 bubbles completed. Everything else is like, I have so many more things to talk about.
We'll definitely be bringing you back to the. We'll do a part 2. We'll do a part 2 and bring you back. But let's see if we can cover some questions here, because I do need to conclude this in 3 minutes, because I do have an event that I'm getting to. So, let's see a question here. I'm curious to what your message would be to followers you don't have connections already with. What would be the message if
I just said one. Like, you don't have to overthink it. You're just creating the conversation, breaking the ice. Create a giveaway and just message them saying, hey, I noticed you've been following me for a while now. I want to get back to the community. Go ahead and check out this giveaway I'm doing. Good luck. I hope you enter. Good luck. That's it. That's one of the many different things that you can be doing, right? Like, and always focus on, I guess the easiest way to create conversation is, don't make it about you, make it about them. You need to give something. You need to give some kind of value. You need to give something to create that conversation. Don't think me in sales and I need to get a client, because then that message is going to come off really bad. You got to just give some kind of value. So I can leave that homework on that person, right? Whoever asked that question, just brainstorm an idea, brainstorm a question, and that's one of the many ways you can get the conversation started.
I love that. Dude, thank you so much for all of this value. And I'm sure that a bunch of people have more questions. Feel free to follow Jose on social media. Reach out to him. We will be bringing him back to another content creator mastermind, because this has been fire. Dude, I just want to say thank you. Thank you for the immense amount of value. If you guys got value, please drop it into the chat. This has been recorded. You guys will get a copy of the recording if you registered for this webinar. You guys will be getting an email with the recording. But man, any last thing you want to say before we conclude?
I'll throw one more thing, just because I reply to everybody's DMs, text messages. I will put my 89802. Give me 1 second. 0298. I put my direct line on there. Hopefully it doesn't get lost in the DMs. If I have not answered your question, because I don't think we got to all the questions, send me a text. We'll chat. Like I said, this is what I do. This is the organization that we created, is just a bunch of value, and I'm receiving tons of value, tons of motivation. And I think there's only one way up, or one way to go, and that's
it. That's it. Well, it's a win-win all the way around. Thank you so much, Jose, once again, for coming to the Content Creator Mastermind. Thank you for everybody that tuned in and listened and dropped their comments, and you brought your attention. Stay tuned for next week. I do have a very, very special guest that is going to be coming and dropping a lot of gems. So stay tuned. Make sure you guys don't miss one of these. I'm bringing amazing people just like Jose that are crushing it. And again, brother, thank you so much for your contribution, the value. I literally took 2 pages of notes because I am old school as well. I like to handwrite stuff. So, all right, guys, that'll be the conclusion of this.
I challenge everybody on here to post 1 piece of content right now or today. 1 piece of content, tag me, and I'll repost that shit. Okay, that's how we can grow, is leverage. So that's a challenge I give to you guys that are still on here. Post something, tag me, I'll repost it, and let's create this thing.
Let's go. Awesome. Thank you guys. Appreciate your time.
Later.
Let's go. Let's go.